we were asked at a series of meetings, 7 meetings that we had around the country, Right2Change meetings. Listen guys, building on the Right to Water campaign, which we're all very, very proud to be part of, can you guys in the unions get the political pillar, the parties and the independents into a room and try to use your influence to get them to work together? And if anybody in the room thinks the statement that the communities there want us to try to get the political pillar, parties and independents, to work together is wrong, then they're probably at the wrong meeting. That's what's been going on for over a year now. And it's not a space that the trade unions traditionally occupy. So it's been a challenge for us all. It's been a challenge for us as individuals, in terms of our individual roles, our jobs, representing workers, my own job in education, Dave's job in media, Billy's job as the General Secretary of Patsy. It's a challenge for us all. Why are our unions involved in this? Dave's gone through the stats. That's why. Because what's going on, be it in terms of water charges, or be it in terms of inequality, or be it in terms of the neoliberal agenda, is affecting the people, the members that we represent, and their families and their communities. So that's why we're involved. And we're not a political party, we're not political parties, we're not politically aligned. None of us three are members of any political party. So we've done that. We've done just that. We've sat down with all of the political parties who've mobilised on the right to water. So when people say, did you talk to Fine Gael, did you talk to Fianna Fáil, did you talk to Labour, did you talk to Renew? No. And again, I'm not going to make jokes about that. Why did we not talk to them? We didn't talk to them because they're not involved in the right to water. They're not part of the solution to the inequality. They're the reason for the inequality. So that's why we didn't talk. So we've been talking to the parties and the individuals and trying to frame, in a short number of words that can be understood all around the country, what are we about? What's Right2Change about? And sitting down, the unions have come up with those few words. They're not very long. We see our mission, our role in Right2Change to facilitate the electorate in having a choice for a progressive government in 2016. Don't think there's going to be an election this year now. And if that happens, it will be the first time the Irish electorate will have been afforded such a choice. So what is Right2Change about? It's not a long answer. To facilitate the electorate in having a choice for a progressive government in 2016, for the first time ever. That's what we're about. What the electorate do with that choice will be a decision for the electorate. And people putting themselves before the electorate will obviously have a lot to say about that. And on the day of the vote, the electorate will have something to say about it. In terms of the Right2Change organisation structure campaign, we see that as our role. So, if that's our role, how do we start? Can we agree? We'll try to keep this very, very, very simple and uncontroversial. Can we agree a short number of facts, the 3? Can we agree that no single component, no party, no individual, no trade union, no demonstration, no single component of the political pillar or no formation existing can offer the electorate that choice? So we agree that trying to get a Sinn Féin majority or People Before Profit majority or some other majority of a single component is not going to happen, then that's step 1. Step 2, can we agree on fact 2? We're trying to offer a real alternative. It has to be a real alternative. So we need workable, realistic, that's a dampener, but also ambitious policies. The Right2Change policy on water, and that's a policy, costed. The abolition of Irish water in the first 100 days of progressive government, constitutional referendum on enshrining the ownership of our water systems, a specific referendum wording provided in our constitution, and 9 other policy principles we believe provide the broad policy platform that people can come together under. So when we sat down to talk to the political pillar, we asked ourselves, if we have a mission to offer people a choice, progressive government, for the first time ever, and we have the policy platform, what do we need next? We're going to ask you, Sinn Féin, we're going to ask you, AAA, we're going to ask you, Workers' Party, People Before Profit, Social Democrats, and all of you independents who've been up on those stages, making speeches about how you want to change the world 5 times in the last year. We're going to ask you 3 questions. Because we believe these 3 questions encapsulate what the people mobilising behind those demonstrations and that movement are. So there's been lots of stuff. We didn't tell anybody, just to set the record straight, we didn't tell anybody, by the way, don't tell your answers to anybody until today. The reason why this is Halloween today, why we're having it today, we didn't think it was fair to the community representatives to leave a gap between the closing date for getting answers, 5 o'clock yesterday, some have been late by the way, and disclosing them to the community. And we didn't predict, although we didn't try to stop it, that some of them would give their answers to the media before they give them to the community pillar. Draw your own conclusions into that. But we wanted to meet you all as quickly as possible after we got the answers. And we're sorry it's Halloween, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. They are the questions we asked them. Question number 1, do you support the policy principles? Question number 2, will you agree now to form a progressive government based on this platform, this from here, if the numbers allow? The numbers don't allow, it's not an issue. And question 3, which only applies, you can see if you've answered positively to 1 and 2, how will you work together to deliver this objective? We asked the same questions of all the people you're going to see, and I'm going to go through them all, slide by slide. I'm going to give you all the answers. I want to tell you first of all, before I do that, a few of them told us we were asking the wrong questions. So there they are. You can form your own view on that. I think they're pretty straightforward questions myself. And, you know, trade unions aren't trying to lead this campaign or control it. But we do kind of think we've a right to ask a question. What your answer is a matter for yourself. So tell us whatever answer you want, but don't tell us what we can ask. We think those questions reflect the questions that the people behind this campaign want. So let's go through the answers. When we get to the end, I want to make it clear that the unions involved in Right2Change, and one of the unions involved in Right to Water cannot be involved in Right2Change, the CPSU, because they represent public servants, and their rules of employment mean they can't be involved in political campaign. It's in their contracts of employment, it's in the rule. So they're still involved in Right to Water, but for those technical reasons, they can't be involved in Right2Change. But the rest of us are prepared to leave this campaign on the basis that the community pillar, which to us is the key, no longer require us, no longer need us. We've clarified the political landscape for them, and they'll make their own decisions going forward what to do with that. Or we will bring and offer to the community pillar some of our expertise and some of our experience, because the one thing trade unions do, they do 2 things. These 2 things can come in useful. First thing to do, by very nature of being trade unions, is they compromise with other people. We've never turned up at an employer yet and said, we want the keys of your building, we want to take over your business, we want to change the world that you live in, employer. We turn up and we say we want a pay rise for our members, or we want more jobs, or we want better conditions. And then we get into debate, we compromise, and we've been trying to compromise with the elements of this campaign from last year, and we're prepared to continue to try to do that. That's the first thing we do. The other thing we do is structure, organisation, branches, district, votes, rules, standing orders. discipline. We're prepared to offer that as well. To the community pillar, because the political pillar have it all already. We can see where that's got us, can't we? So we're prepared to offer that to the community pillar. The community pillar, our trade union assessment of the community pillar, is that most of it, you're representing your groups, you've been sent up here from your groups. I'm looking at you all, I've got to know a lot of you over the last year. Most of you are non-aligned in terms of political party. It's the first thing. It's very large. It's the biggest mobilised movement there's been on the water issue and a single issue in Ireland ever. And it is not uniform. It's all over the place geographically and in terms of the things that are doing, the things that are being done. All good things. But it's lacking in structure, in unified structure.